There we go. Now we're live. All right, here we go. Up there, get my water out. I also need to do some a little bit less like I have things piled absolutely everywhere. There's my... This needs to go here because I know if I don't, I'll knock it off. I'm paranoid that that pink pen that I love to use bleeds a lot, and I'm paranoid that coconut's going to sit on it when I just leave it on my desk, so, and turn herself pink. And it's almost happened a few times because she sat on it, but I had it capped, thankfully. little butter pat thing here. They're on the edge of the table. Maybe instead of calling it Floofcakes, I'll maybe a sweet start. That could be good. There we go, a sweet start. I like that. I like that. I like that better. A sweet start. I think that's good. Neat. And this shouldn't take too long. It's kind of moving crazy today. Have it over here. All right. So I've got that first layer, second layer. Yeah, I don't think this will take very long, especially for this line art. It should be pretty... Well, the baking parts aren't going to be too bad. This will be elaborate, but I think that'll be a cute little wallpaper as well. Oops. Fill those up. Okay. Okay, what is going on here? Why can't I draw this corner? It's a little bit. There we go. I think I'm going to take the shortcut on this one. Just there we go. Better. Jeez. Corner from hell. Ah! I'm gonna delete everything. Ears falling out. There we go. go. Hey, hello! Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you too! I hope you're having a good week today. Or a good day and a good start to the week. This week feels just off to me because just like an odd in-between time. But just some little excitement there too, because I need to have just a contained planning session where I can, take my notebook out and, list off the things. I'm not sure if I want to do it digitally or if I want to do it in just my regular analog notebook. I feel like it's a notebook deal. The tangible nature of it would be better. I need to make her face a little bigger. There we go. And I think I need to make, fix these ears a little bit. I feel like this one needs to be a little bit more there we go. I feel like this needs to be bigger, like everything needs to be bigger because I'm doing, there we go. That's more of a shot because she's got spatula's up. I can angle her over here a little bit. I'm glad you enjoyed them. This is going to be a fun one. Just a little Granny Bear and Floof and Boop New Year's post. I did a new Christmas post, and typically I do new Christmas and New Year's, and so I switched from my usual Tuesday post to this. And it felt odd not getting a comic done last night. I need to draw a spatula. Point out this eye a little bit. Big enough? Yeah, she can fit. I always want to make sure that I make Whoop big enough so she can fit sitting between Granny Bear's ears on the top of her head. I've gotten her face a little bit off here. There we go, that's a little bit better. Actually, no, that's a little bit. There we go. I want to make it just a mini. Maybe I'm going to make her face and body a little bit smaller. Oops. I didn't actually want to deselect her face. There we go, that's a little better. Get rid of that. I think I'll put boots in. I know these are technically rubber scrapers, but I always call it a spatula. Let me just Google a little bit. Okay, so technically it could be. Well, there we go. There's a spatula. Rubber spatula. Yeah, new special stream. Hey Chris, good to see you as always. Oops, here we go. Why is my, oh, because I'm about half on my print size. That's why it's looking off. There we go. Now I can. Catherine, hello, welcome to this stream. Oh, I need to, okay, it's on the right, wait, that's top chat. I always forget to switch it to live chat. There we go. How's everyone doing today? Little wiggly, but I can maybe, that's all right. We have everything selected. Good. Now let's bring this up just a smidge and group it. All right, now I can do my dialogue bubble tail. There we go. Yep. All right, and I can erase all of this. I'm just going to go ahead and erase all of these extra bits of Granny Bear that I didn't need. I started drawing her originally smaller and needed more on the canvas, but now that I've brought it up a little bit, I don't need as much. There we go. Should work out pretty good. And let's do this and this. There we go. All right. And then now that that is all grouped, I need to bring it in with my frame. But before I do that, I'm going to just erase this little bit so we can see the dialogue. There we go. And then forward, group the two sections. There we go. All right, next. So on this one, I originally called it Floofcakes, but then I got the idea for a sweet start because that was originally going to be the dialogue as Granny Bear saying ready for a sweet start, but I'm switching it up. I'm going to say spatula's up, and then she's going to say Floofcakes are ready, and then the final panel is going to be pancakes in the shape of 2025, and the Floof's very excited to partake of that special sweet treat. And then this is going to be cracking eggs here, mixing, pouring the batter into the pan. Boop is going to be watching, and then she's going to be bringing the cakes up to the table here. And then I'm debating whether I want to put Happy New Year right here or just leave it without. We'll see how it shakes out. I think that'll work for one half of the egg. I'm going to go ahead and group this. And now well, I need to make that a little bit. I think I need to do this a little differently here. I'm going to make this a guideline. And then I'll come through here and do a little bit more sharper edges on these egg crack lines. And then I'm going to have to remember to make the mirror image over here. I could. Why don't I just do this? Let's see if this will work. I'm going to group this. I'm going to slide it over. We're going to do this. Because technically, no, that won't, because it needs to be the opposite. So this is going to fit into this. No, that's not going to work. Okay, I'm going to have to do it by sight. All right, so this is going to have... Uh-oh. think I'm probably thinking about this too much. Actually, I like that. Let's figure this out here. And it could possibly be okay. We're looking at this, and I'm going to put this, it's going to have the Granny Bear's paws here. I'm just going to do this like this, and erase as I need. There we go, and just a little more erasing here, there we go. I think that'll be the yolk, and this can be I'm gonna have to probably, okay. This is gonna be interesting drawing in front of the yolk here. I'm gonna have just the edge of the shell. That might work. And let's get rid of that little guy there. That's a small yolk. I feel like this yolk needs to be bigger. Tiny little touch there. Hopefully that'll... I am not digging this right here. I feel like that's not the best little tangent. And this is kind of a not cool tangent too. Maybe that's better. Still a little bit ick on that tangent, but This one's done. Let's bring this forward. All right, and now we do the mix, mix, mix. Save first. Draw the whole bowl. I feel it's easier for me to draw the character holding complete objects. I can just erase later. Like that. I need to group this. All right. So she's holding the bowl and she's mixing. How would I mix? I would mix with my right. And so I would hold. So the mixer should be in this. Okay, so the angle needs to be like that. She's holding the bowl here, and I'm going to do a little swirly, and then her chest is probably going to be somewhere around there, and she's to figure this out. Or is the bowl on the counter? Would she have a bowl on the counter even so? Trying to get the angles of everything right. I'm just trying to picture I'm picturing how I make pancake mix and how I beat the. Do I hold the bowl towards me? Because if I think kind of hold the bowl towards you. I think I might have the angle of this wrong. And maybe just a light angle on the mixing spoon, and then she mixes like this. Cozy season indeed. I think it makes more sense to tip the bowl lightly so you can mix like that. And so tipping it away would just be awkward because then you wouldn't have the angle to mix. So in that vein, wouldn't you? Oh, I'm overthinking this. holding on to I make this a little smaller. Here I thought this would be the easy part. Figure this out. It's almost there. I can almost got it. I feel like it's a little bit thick on the spoon. It doesn't match anymore, so let me just knock this down and redraw these lines. Started watching the, not started, I'm on the last 2 episodes of the 2nd season of Squid Game. I would say, I'm not going to do any spoilers, but I would say it started out a little slow, but I think it needed that little bit of time to explain where the main guy, where his head is and why. And then after what is it, about episode 3? Well, episode 2, when do they actually get into the games? I think at episode 2 or 3. And at the end of 3 is where it really kind of starts getting interesting. But it's a shorter season this year. 2 fewer episodes, I believe. 9 versus 7 for the first season. Another thing I saw over Christmas, my little Christmas vacation, I saw Black Doves, which I thought was really good. There's a second season coming for that one. I'm trying to figure out what I would describe it as, because it's a little La Femme Nikita, or Point of No Returnish, kinda, but not. I'm trying to figure out what other series or movie I could compare it to. I believe that one was on. Was that on Netflix? I thought the development for the main characters in that one was pretty good. Go. That one's done. Then I'm going to move these out and drop the next set of panels down. That out of the way. There we go. And now let's go ahead. Did I group all of this? Doesn't look like I did. Yeah, I didn't. I'm going to group that, and I'm going to group this carefully. And I'm going to bring all of this down. And then switch to the next layer. Let's save. Frying pan section. Just do a little bit of a. Wait, what's my point size? So let's get back up to where I should be, 21. Nice. Yep. All right, and we're gonna do a little, like a sizzling, maybe a little booblage here, where the batter is hitting the pan. Let's go smaller on the size for the yep. And And Boop is going to be watching excitedly. I guess she can be fluttering around here. Or not. Maybe let's just bring her in just a little bit. And I'm going to group her and maybe change her angle a little bit and drop her down so it looks like she's just on the edge. She's not like... I'm going to have to cut off her... I want to have her watching from a safe distance. I don't want her to be looking like she's balancing on the edge of a hot pan. So let's have her right here. And I'll do her footers here. Let's do some footer magic there. And then maybe her wings are just kind of gently unfolded here, just a bit. And we're not going to see much. And I'll need to make her little digits a little bigger here. There we go. There we go. Did I say Black Doves or Black Swan? It was Black Doves that I watched. It's got Keira Knightley in it. The guy that plays Q, Ben something, I think was his name. The new young Q, like in the Daniel Craig Bonds. Trying to think, there's other people in it. Another guy in it reminds me of Ed Helms, but he's not Ed Helms. Alright, so now let's see, what else did I watch while I was away? We watched a bunch of stuff. I saw Carry On, which I thought was good. I saw that twice actually, because I watched it once with my parents and we loved it, and then we had to watch it with my sister again because she hadn't seen it. And there are some holes, but I thought it was good. You can just say, okay, I'll roll with this premise. Let's see where it's gonna go. Probably would have been less work to, I mean, I don't know. The premise of that one is that these guys are trying to get a bomb onto a plane, and they are blackmailing, not blackmailing, but manipulating some of the TSA agents to get it through security. And so I was wondering, maybe would it have been easier for them to just not go through the front of the house, like traveling on a plane, just try to get it in, like with the food or the supplies or all the stuff that operates behind the scenes in an airport. I'm just, I was wondering while I was watching, would that have been a better pathway, or is this really the only pathway that you could have done that? And Jason Bateman plays kind of the bad guy, and I think he did good playing the bad guy. Oh, and also Hank from, who else was in it? Hank from Breaking Bad. Who else was in that? The main dude, oh gosh, I know him from Sing. He was the character, the gorilla that had the dad. In jail, and he was playing the piano. That guy, I don't remember his name. Oh gosh, what's the dude's name that actually plays? He's a British dude, but he actually has a pretty good American accent. I need to move her eyes up a little bit. Oops. Didn't mean to edit that way. There we go. Is that still looking okay? Let's see. Alright, she's got to be bringing in the plates, so they're going to be piled up on her arms. So she's going to have them kind of like that too. And I don't want you to see what's on the plates until this last reveal with the floofs. Or maybe I'll angle the plates like this. You can just see something on them. These kind of need to be bigger though. Bigger. Just longer would be better. I don't want her little paw to be poking out over, so I like this, but I want to do it a little better than I did. So I want to erase that and see if this angle on her paw kind of works. I need to fix this a little bit, and it will. There we go. Need to get rid of this body line that's coming through here. I read a new, actually 2 new graphic novels that I really enjoyed. One, I think I need to make this one a little bit more like, kind of like that shape. That feel that that's working. I might need to close it like that. And I actually didn't know. Actually, here, let me spin around and grab it real quick. So these really inspiring and invigorating, as far as, wanting to just kind of immerse myself in a longer form story, and just how the panels are laid out, how the artwork is done, is really, really beautiful. Unico is Osamu Tezuka. It's one of his original stories, and what they did is they kind of not, what's the right word? It's because it's very close to the original story, but the artwork is updated. It's based on the original story, lightly changed. But if you ever watch the Unico animated movies, very close to the first one, Fantastic Adventures of Unico. And the second one, Unico Hunted, I'm sure is probably going to be based off the second movie, which was Unico and the Island of Magic, I believe it was. But it was done with a writer and artist team, and the artist team is out of Japan, or yeah, they are out of Japan. So it has a very manga look to it, and it's all in color. Beautifully done. No, this is, I believe it was originally written in the 70s. Ooh, is it 70s? Let me look into the history of it. I believe it was in the 70s. Thought I was reading some history on it. When was the original published? Doesn't say in here. I guess I was looking it up separately. But it has a lot of Greek mythology mixed in there. And then another one that I read was Detective Beans, which is this is a contemporary illustrator, writer, artist, and she does the XO. Oh God, I can never remember. It's EXE, or no, it's not EXE. It's O. It's a weird name for the comics, and I believe she and the loading artist guy are together, so they kind of do comics beside each other. And she has a Patreon where she does the Detective Cat comics, and I thought this one was really adorable, and the art in it was beautiful too. And I liked how she broke up some of her panels and did the action there, and kind of set the mood for each of the different, not sub-stories, but elements of the plot in here. I don't know, I felt it really was inspiring. So I read those two, and no, but this one is, I used to watch these animated movies all the time when I was little, so when I saw that they were re-releasing it, I was like, absolutely, I really want to read that one. And I was quite pleased with what they did with the story. They stuck really quite close, and it made me curious to see the originals, and the originals are available online. I believe DMZ brought them over and translated them officially. And I enjoyed how they really kept to the artwork of the movies, because the movies were a little bit different than the original manga. They kind of kept closer to the movie, which is what I really remember. Really a faithful adaptation, I would say. You were there back then. Close. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make Floofcakes are ready. That her dialogue, and she's just walking them over, and I think I'll take Boop out of that frame. And maybe I'll drop Boop in here, and she'll say Happy New Year. Maybe that's what I'll do. I feel like that would be better. Get the text up here so I can get a good size on my and I'm going to sample this so I have the same text size on my and I'll adjust the spacing of these frames so they look a little bit better there. And I'm gonna bring this up just a little bit so it doesn't quite clip her ear like that. There we go. Good, I grouped it. All right. Go through. And I think I'll move the dialog box over just a smidge because I don't like how it's running into that edge. Let's get it over here just a bit. And if I have to adjust the tail, that'll be all right. Okay, I'm going to jump out and bring this up front. And let's erase this. Okay. And let's bring that to the front just in case. Go. Group. Go. Cakes are ready. And now the fun part, drawing all of the Floof's expressions. Whoops. Come on now. All right, there we go. Save. How are we doing on time? Only an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm almost done with this line art. That's great. So I'm planning to for this to be a seamless swipe on Instagram, so I want to, and what's beautiful about that is it works for TikTok too, because I've started posting these on TikTok, and darn it. I do have one of those. see, what are our Hall's fortunes today? Be unstoppable, be resilient, get back in the game, go for it. And there's one that's kind of cut off, but it looks like it says fire up the engines. I like that. All right, I'll accept that. I'm trying to pay attention. Making presents. No, these are... Alright, I want to adjust that so I'm not making quite... This is just a guideline for... I'm going to group this and center it. And I'm going to cut this and paste it on my sketch layer. So I have a good guideline there. I think the most difficult part is going to be drawing these 2025 pancakes, so I'm going to start there. The floofs are going to be easy to fill in. Now I need to have the angle of the plate and the table such that you can still see the pancakes. Might need to... I'm going to say that's the center line. So what I should probably do is duplicate and reflect so I can have perspective roughly right. Bring it up maybe a little bit. That might be such that you can't see the pancakes. So let's go right here. I'm going to drop these guidelines down. So on TikTok, I've been, well, first of all, I've been reading almost, well, it feels like it's not much longer, but I've been reading Gary Vee's new book and talking about, you know, this is a sequel or maybe an update to Jab Jab Right Hook, which was 2013, I believe, when that one came out. But very, it's giving me clarity on a pathway and also impressing the importance of viewing your insights. And so I've been doing that and kind of looking and paying attention to the numbers and playing around a little bit with like hashtags, if I use hashtags versus not, versus which ones I use for certain posts. I find it very interesting that my comic posts are doing far better than my time-lapse drawing posts, because I have a few of those on there, and I have, let me see, there were a couple of standout things that I noticed. Well, first of all, one that was incredibly frustrating was going back through, and I had done a picture of all of the plush, not a picture, but a small short, like 5-second video of the float of the plushies in a floaty on a pool, and it was kind of spinning. That one got, and that was just a sale announcement for the summer sale. That one got far more reach than like anything else since one of my Momo inflatable blow-up reels. Those do really well. Only the first one in a series, because I was posting reels for San Diego. The first one did great. The subsequent ones not so great. but yeah, I'm very curious, and it also matters on the time of day, because I was using that as a variable too. What time of day? Because there are some that I'll post that will just, I mean, flat. They barely get seen for anything. And there are certain other ones I feel like if I post later in the day, those do better than in the morning, which is interesting to me because Instagram is usually in the morning at 9 a.m. That's when I schedule those to go live, unless Instagram decides not to work and not to post my scheduled posts. Then it is a little bit different. But for the most part, that's steady at that time of day. And I'm just finding it interesting how it's working a little differently there. Also, I've been varying the length of my... yes, I do. It's at Happy Paper as well, so it's the same as my Instagram because I couldn't get Be Cute. Funny enough. I don't... I'm not sure that they're going to get rid of it because there are so many businesses that, I mean, that's like... If you can get, attention on something as far as TikTok Shop goes, it can just sell out crazy fast, and businesses love it for that. So there's that piece to it. And I mean, I don't know. I think it might have a chance to stick around. I know certain platforms would definitely be happier if it wasn't, but then again, certain platforms seem to have lost all creativity and are just copying that one. So if they, take away the source of their innovation, what's next for them? Oops. I need to group this pancake. Yeah, but are the ones that use it good businesses though? Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, no, I see. I would say for... what would be the ratio? I would say for every 2 or 3 actual... No, maybe it's not that low. Or high, rather. Maybe I would say 1 to 2, so I'll see 2 real TikToks, whatever, versus 1 advertisement. And I'm curious because the ones that are obvious from the get-go as advertisements are just, you flip past them very quickly. They don't work. But if the company is making them like a reel, like a regular TikTok with a regular content creator, or like a get ready with me, like for example, a air dryer hair curler thing. I've gotten caught by several of those that are more like get ready with me, here are some tips on how I do my hair type things, but you can directly see they're promoting that singular product. I think those are more successful than the, like the just in your face, more traditional media advertisements. I think those are more successful on that platform, and that is actually what Gary Vee talks about in his book, is the different kinds of content and the organic regular content, which if he finds a piece that goes really well, you can then take that and put advertising budget behind it and along those lines. So I see a lot more, I don't want to call it organic content, but it is organic to that platform because it's dressing up in the clothes of the other content that is performing well on that platform, if that makes sense. I see a lot more traditional media type ads on Instagram, like polished professional advertisements and commercial breaks, if you will, on Instagram than I do on TikTok. It's very interesting. I think that's the best quote of the stream. Never understood those videos. Here's my day-to-day. Yeah, well, I mean, I think they have to disclose the ad. I think, well, because yeah, all of them do have the little ad thing. And I know on Instagram they have to do the hashtag ad. Yeah, the rules are a little different on each one. These pancakes are flat. They need to be fluffier. And I think I failed at making a fluffy pancake here. So let me just see if I can change these pancakes to be more fluffy. I might have to go about this a different way. Let me bring this back, and I'm just going to drop these edges down and see if I can figure out how to give this a little bit. Oh yeah, you have to if you're honest. If you're not, which most aren't, can't really. That's a fair point. That looks like a little bit of a fluffier pancake. There we go. I feel that's better. Let's drag these out a little bit more like that. There we go. I think that's looking a little bit better. I like the ones that kebab was mega. The one of the ads that I like when they go in partnership with some of the chefs. So they'll, like, there's a chocolate, like a chocolatier pastry chef. I believe he's originally French, but is out of Vegas now. But he does a lot of promotional ones where he's like he did what was it, Bailey's, was it a Bailey's Irish Cream? It was some liqueur, and he made I believe it was the bottle, a giant bottle out of chocolate. So he used his skills, so it was really content that aligned with what he was doing, because he still was making these incredible chocolate sculptures and pastries and stuff, but he was making them like life-size, and not life-size but oversized, but exactly like the real thing. I've seen some of those that were really neat. I think those work the best. Don't know if they actually see a sales tick to coincide with those. That would be interesting to know. Okay, so I need to make this plate so they can actually be sitting beside each other. But also need to take into account the angle of the table. feel like I'm making this plate quite right. Does it need to be wider like this? And then I need to bring down the edge of the plate here. Hey Ryan! Yes, Amari, that is. Yes, that's his name. He is just incredible, the things he does with, well, really everything, because he does pastry too, and everything just looks perfect. Oh, there was a chocolate spider he made for something recently. Was that Halloween, or was that in conjunction with something else? It's kind of fun to guess at the beginning. Ooh, that's good. It's good to, very good to know. Oh, that came across to me correct. No, no, I'm glad I couldn't remember his name. I remembered all of the other weird details, but I think that's making this a little bit fluffier of a pancake. Should I put a little pat of butter on here? Melty with butter. I need to move on with the next because I'm taking forever to draw just one pancake. So, but the beauty of this is I can use this to almost do the 25. I'll have to adjust some things though. I'll have to adjust a little bit. I think that'll help me keep the angle of this more consistent throughout the plates. In fact, I think what I'm going to do, I might draw this plate offset up a little bit with the 0 closer to this floof, maybe like this. Spread this out a little bit more because I want to have the two. That might be better there. And then this one, stop. And then I'm just going to do this as a placeholder here. I think I'll change the angle of that one since it's closer to this floof. There we go. Currently teaching myself digital art using Clip Studio Paint. Nice! This is Adobe Illustrator. I believe it's 2022 version. I have not updated since then. But this is a vector-based program, and if I remember right, I think Clip Studio Paint has some vector functionality in it. One of my friends, she works a lot with it, and I believe she's actually done a few webinars for Clip Studio Paint, and so I always find it fascinating to watch her Instagram stories and video posts on that. And I believe that she's using it to draw her, she's got this manga she's working on that looks absolutely incredible. It's like a mafia story, I want to say. This one's going to be easier to draw because this is a 0. And let's group this guy so I can actually see it. Oh, nice. So you're normally just doing the writing on it. That's cool. You know, before I started making comics, I didn't know, and I didn't really pay attention to see that usually, like in graphic novels and stuff, you've got, well, usually, I mean, there are a lot of exceptions actually, but you've got a writer and an artist, and usually it's a team. And, you know, I started noticing that, you know, especially in American comics, there's even more split. You've got the writer, then you've got you've got someone who does the pencils, you've got the inker, and then a colorist sometimes even. So several different people all working on one property. I thought that was really cool. I need to make this O more O. I'll just keep practicing. You can definitely improve. Art is a skill set that is very much learnable. If you want a book recommendation, hold on just a second. So these are two of the books that I always recommend if you're just getting into comics, especially if you want to start drawing them, making comics. And these are by Scott McCloud. You can see on the bottom. And Understanding Comics. Both, I believe the first one was 1994. Let's see. Oh, actually I'm wrong. This was 2006. So was Understanding Comics the first one? 1994. Actually 93. Okay. So this is the first one. And then actually making this one is the second one. But these are really neat in that they are completely immersive. They're written like a graphic novel or a comic. And both of these really helped me to start understanding what I was seeing on the page and figuring out a better way to think my way around story layout, and especially frame to frame. That was my biggest problem initially, was picking the action from one frame and the other and the next frame, between those two frames, because there's a space in between where if you have too far of a distance, not a literal distance, but a distance between the action that the reader can connect it smoothly, and it plays almost like a video, versus if you separate them too far, it can cause confusion in the reader. And so it always was a struggle for me to, you know, pick, okay, do I draw too much, draw too little? Can I draw one person, you know, rearing back to make a punch? And will it connect that, you know, in the next frame that you've got the punch through and the pow right here, you know, that's okay, that works, versus, you know, having the, you know, rear back on the punch, but then punch through, not showing that and having the person fly back, you're missing a key, almost like a keyframe in that sequence of events. And so that explained that to me when I was starting out and helped me figure out a method to kind of think my way around the story I'm trying to tell, and, you know, how to visually express it. Oh, very cool. Very nice. Make sure I make these pancakes roughly the same size here. I have a little pat of butter on this one too. Kind of have it over there. Oops. Now I need to make this plate. This one's looking a little bit weird now. I need to bring this down a little bit more. Oh, I need to do the inside here. And I'll just leave that there as a suggestion because I'm not sure if I want to do the butter pat yet. So that's obviously a 0 or an O. So I've got 2000. And I need to edit this one just a smidge so it doesn't look so completely like I copied and pasted over. Give my friends updates all the time throughout the process, and they constantly say I couldn't have found a better collaborative partner. Awesome. That is really great. And also that you're willing to learn is pretty incredible too, because I mean, and that you're receptive to, you know, the learning. It sounds like a very, very good pair indeed. Okay, let's move on to the next. It looks like I didn't group anything here, so go ahead and group it. All right, now let's change this one a little. I'm gonna move it up a little, smaller here. And I'm gonna drop this down. We need to have a plate roughly about the same as this guy. Maybe a little bit higher. Just looking at the edge there. And now this one's really standing out to me. I'm far too curious about the world around me. That's awesome. That is awesome. Keep that curiosity. Hold on to it. And happy early birthday. All right, let me group this. And now we're going to do the second two. And I feel like this is a little sided. There we go. And let's not make this exact. Even though I love how it looks, it's a little bit. A little bit different, but I think that's enough. Plate there, and let's do just a smidge. You know what I think is bugging me about this one is these lines right here. I think I'll have to cut those out, but this makes this plate is probably going to be more like a almost like a tray, since these numbers are so big. Just leave them off. We'll cheat a little bit here. I'll have to go back and edit that one. Now your seam just a little bit. There we go. Alright, I'm going to get rid of this original. So my other two, I gotta fix you because you're just not. A little bit too. All right. People discovering that they're capable of pursuing their interest in their favorite people. And it's always good to surround yourself with creatives that are also in pursuit of something similar. That, you know, that when Twitch was originally like, when they originally did their Twitch Creative around 2015, that was what really inspired me. Was seeing all these other creatives, whether it was, you know, making comics, painting, you know, there were traditional painters, there were people making shoes, there were a lot of different artists out there, but they were all incredibly passionate and very giving with their knowledge, which was incredibly inspiring. And it made me want to stream and want to be a part of it. It's definitely, if you can, the more people like that you can surround yourself with, the better you'll learn, and the quicker you'll learn, because it becomes fun. And you know, the biggest obstacle I think to picking up something new is you know, the frustration of, you know, there's the elation of learning something new and succeeding, and but there's also the frustration and the failure, because they happen hand in hand, especially when you're, you know, learning a new skill. I think it can help keep you motivated. To be surrounded by people who are encouraging, that have been there and can, you know, almost like a little bit like a mentor. Oh my god, can I draw a 5? Doesn't seem like I can today. Alright, let's group this stuff so I can actually see what I'm doing. Start with the top of the phone. It's gonna come pretty close. And that's gonna be like that. I almost feel like I'm doing graffiti here. How stylized graffiti artists make their numbers. I bet I could leave that like this. And I could just use the light shining off that area. But I need to make this look a little bit more cohesive. That's better. Oh. Where did you come from, little one? Let me see if I can get a hold of you. Oh, don't want that one, don't want that one. That's all I want, right there. I'm going to assume that's where I'm going to draw my plate. Go. That's a big fluffy pancake right there. All right. And now we need to figure out where to draw our plate. Not bad. This one's got a little bit of a flat. These are fluffier. Alright, so now I can get out of this group, and I'm going to remove that extra 2. And now we get to the fun part. I can draw my floofs. Oh, whoops. There we go. A big floof. It's lots of pancakes. Actually, I kind of want to make them a little bit more. Totally edited where his expression is going. He would be he would be admiring the pancake in front of him, I imagine. I need to make my point size smaller. I'm going to draw a fork. A lot easier if I do this straight on. Let's just draw it over here. kind of like that one better. Let's see if it works. It does. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. Alright, there's our fork. Let's make it floof sized. Loop in there like that. These others should be pretty easy to draw. And this one I'm looking forward to. Got floofs in various stages of pleased. But I want him to be like this, like he's the bottom of the mouth. Boop, Happy New Year. Let's do that real quick, and then I've got a couple of other items on the table. I've got some syrup, although it's all the way over here. I wanted to frame this out a little bit. Let me just go ahead and sketch boop in here real quick, and then I'll probably call the stream there. I got a little bit of a late start today, but that's all right. This is a little bit of a weird day. Oops. Yeah, I knew I did that. Let's, what do we do? Shoulders, thank you. Oh, whoops. I guess I hadn't grouped her yet. Let's zoom in. Let's fix her eyes. Oops. All right. That a little smaller. There we go. And now she must say Happy New Year. Alright, and now I shouldn't have put her dialogue in with her character art. Bad. I am scooched way too close to that line for my Instagram layout. Fix that here in a minute. We're gonna spin to win. There we go. Spin to win. This. Go. And here we go with our little tail. And now, boop. There we go. And let's take this out. Forward. There we go. And I'm going to delete that and move. Oh, I need to get out of this. I can move this out, and I will move this out, and then I'm going to put the supporting graphics down here. Like I'll do some butter or maybe some table placemats or something like that. My phone went haywire and made the stream buffer. Oh no. Yeah, no, that one is not intent on sharing. These other ones probably might. This one might be a little bit stingy with their pancake. But there's plenty. And now I also need to go in here and I need to draw the pancakes poofing above these. You can't really see what it is, but I want to make sure I have them poofy because they can't be poofy down here but not poofy here. So I've got to edit that. And then maybe I'll draw like just butter. Gotta have there, maybe. Whoop. Just a rough sketch of the butter. And maybe I was gonna do like a bottle of fancy maple syrup, something like that. this close to redrawing this plate. Maybe it's this plate that we need to redraw. Looks like a really wonky plate. We're going to redraw this plate. Make it look a little bit less wonky here. Of course, it would make the most sense if I just had them on like sort of a mat or something like that. Better. Not quite as weird as the rest of them, but now that is off. Oh, I like that a little bit better. And maybe I'll put little maybe a bowl of whipped cream. In here like that. Little bowl of powdered sugar. Strawberries. Could do strawberries or fruit. So I might need to label this so I remember what. I don't need to label the butter. I know that's butter. And then I'll do like maybe some confetti or something. And maybe she's throwing it. There we go. Alright, put save on that. I got 204. Uh-oh, I missed some chat. I'm glad you like it, Catherine. Where's the year gone? I know, right? I was watching a live stream last night. No joke, they were talking about figuring out how bougie someone is by the butter dish they own. I feel 204. Oh, I feel it when my back isn't happy. Otherwise, I feel pretty good. All right, so this is the line art. I'll be coloring off stream. Then I will end the stream here. This will be my post for tomorrow. So if you want to see the finished one, you can check it out on my social media or the website, becute.com. New comics are posted usually on Tuesdays and Fridays, but I switched it up because the Christmas and New Year's fell on Wednesday, and I wanted to do a new comic post for each of those. So it will also be up fresh on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter tomorrow morning. Did I hit save? Nope, I needed to hit save. Okay. But yeah, so that's how it starts out. I do the rough sketch, and then I dim the rough sketch and go over on a new layer for my line art. All of the, whoops, I didn't move that, did I? Whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. All of the color goes on the line art layer as well. And I may leave the table, yeah, because I think it might help with the depth. I don't know. I may leave it, I may not. We'll see. We'll see how I color up the table. To be determined. Save. Happy New Year to you too, Catherine. Oh, thank you so much for joining, Dee. I'm gonna go over here to my ending screen. I will be back on Thursday. Gosh, it feels like such a weird week. And I'll be doing more comics. So if you want to see another comic stream, be sure to tune in on Thursday. It'll be probably closer to my usual time, around like, well, I started closer to 1 this time. Probably around noonish, 11:30ish, somewhere around there. Maybe a little bit earlier. I do make go live announcements on my Twitter and Instagram. So if you follow me there, you'll see as soon as I go live. Also, if you sub, I think you get the notifications there too. So, but yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful, happy New Year. And yeah, I just feel it's first stream back after a little bit of a break. So, all right, I will see you next time. Thank you again for joining me, Catherine D, Chris, Ryan, all of my lurkers. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.